Hello, my friend, thank you for being here tonight. There are moments in life no one can ever prepare for, moments that strike like lightning, shaking the very soul within us. And today, that moment is calling your name. This is not an ordinary message, it is a destined shock, something no one has ever faced before. Yet it now opens before you like a doorway leading straight into rebirth. So listen with your whole heart, because the words you're about to hear may change the way you see your own life. And now, let us step into the very first part, the destined shock, the one no one has ever faced before. My dear Aries, let me guide you slowly, gently, into a space where time itself seems to stop, where all that remains is the sound of your heartbeat and the rhythm of your breath moving with the universe. There are moments in life when we know, without a doubt, we are standing before a doorway no one has ever crossed. A moment that makes the heart tremble not from fear, but from an energy so powerful, so unusual that even the soul begins to shake. And today, it is you, Aries, who is being called into this rare moment. People often say the shocks of life are like sudden storms. They do not come to destroy, they come to sweep away what is old, what is rotten, what no longer serves you, so that new and fertile ground can appear. Perhaps you've lived through long nights when you felt you had no strength left to rise. Perhaps there were times you believed a wound would break you forever. But think again, Aries. Wasn't it in those very endings, those moments you thought were the final blow, that you found another path, another strength, another version of yourself you never knew existed? The universe never throws a shock into someone's life without a reason. What's happening to you right now is not punishment, and it is not random. It is preparation. It is an awakening. An invisible hand is knocking gently at the door of your soul, whispering, "It's time to step into a new chapter." And this chapter is unlike anything you've lived before. It is frightening, yes, because no one has walked this road ahead of you. And it is miraculous because you have been chosen to be the first to write the story. Picture this, a land that has been dry for years. No water, no life, only dust and stone. Then suddenly, a heavy rain falls, streams begin filling the cracks. The barren earth turns into a flowing river. That land is your life. And this shock is the rain the universe has sent. It has not come to drown you, but to awaken every cell, to bring you back to life, to let you rise again as a warrior washed clean of dust. You have always been seen as the pioneer, the trailblazer, the flame that goes first. But be honest with yourself, there were times that flame almost went out. Times when you looked around and saw nothing but darkness pressing in. Do not be ashamed to admit it. Even the stars sometimes hide behind clouds. What matters is not that the flame once flickered. What matters is that it still burns. And this destined shock is the wind that will ignite it again, stronger, brighter, unstoppable. Right now you may be asking, why me? Why must I carry this shaking, this weight? And the answer lies within your very nature. You were born to face challenges, to walk where no one else dares, to fall, rise again, and turn pain into wisdom. The universe does not give special burdens to fragile souls. It only entrusts them to those it believes can transform pain into light. And you are one of the few. Tell me, how many times have you thought a wound would destroy you, but later realized it opened a brand new road? Let that question echo within you. Because the truth is this, what you once called loss may have been the doorway to treasure. What you once called the end was only the beginning of another journey you could not yet imagine. And now, as you sit here listening, I believe your soul is quietly nodding. Because deep in your heart, you already know something is shifting. You feel it in strange dreams and small signs during your day, repeating numbers on the clock, a coin you stumble upon, a sudden wind that makes you shiver. These are not accidents. They are signals. The universe is whispering to you, the shock has begun and you are no longer the same. I invite you, right now, pause for a moment and ask yourself, have I ever faced something that I thought would break me, but in the end I was grateful because it changed me? If a story rises in your heart, hold on to it. And if you feel ready, share it with us in the comments. Because every time you tell your story, you open a door of healing for yourself. And you may also become the light for someone else out there, someone lost in the same darkness you once knew. This shock is not a curse. It is a gift. It is a great awakening, calling you to become fully yourself. And even if you are uncertain about the road ahead, remember this. You are not alone. The universe is walking with you. Every wound, every fear, every tear, they are only preparations, shaping you for a chapter brighter and freer than ever before. And to see more clearly, to understand why this shock is not an ending but the beginning of prosperity, let us step into the next part where the wheel of fortune is turning and destiny itself is shifting right now. My dear Aries, when we just spoke of that destined shock, that trembling no one has ever faced, perhaps you already felt your heartbeat change. That feeling wasn't just a passing wave, it was a wake-up call, a sign that an invisible wheel has begun to move slowly but with a force that cannot be stopped. They call it the wheel of fortune. And tonight, it is no longer hidden in the shadows, it is turning right now in your life. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this. You stand before a massive golden wheel, ancient symbols carved into its shining surface, and it begins to turn. The sound of metal echoes like thunder in the belly of the earth. With every turn, a piece of the past is wiped away and a brand new journey unfolds. This is not fantasy, it is the symbol of where your life stands now, Aries. For months, maybe even years, you may have felt stuck, plans left unfinished, dreams put on hold, efforts that seem to bring nothing back. Like a river blocked at its source, water left behind only in shallow puddles. But when the wheel turns, the water bursts through. It rushes forward with unstoppable force. Your life is returning to its natural state movement. And here is the miracle. This movement does not come from just one direction. If you thought prosperity could only come from a single job, a single relationship, a single project, prepare to be surprised. Because when the wheel of destiny spins, it doesn't open just one door, it opens many at once. Money, opportunities, work, even new connections will appear like small roads, all flowing into one great highway. And that highway is your new path forward. You were born a pioneer, a trailblazer. You've never been one to stand still. Yet there are seasons when you are forced to learn patience. That's why the wheel stood still for so long. It wanted you to know that prosperity doesn't come from rushing, it comes from right timing. And now that time has come. Perhaps you've been noticing the number 7 repeating in your life, 7 days, 7 hours, or a random event falling on the 7th. That is no accident. 7 is the code the universe is sending you, a signal that within 1 week powerful changes will begin. Pay attention to the details, a sudden phone call, an offer that seems meaningless, or even a chance encounter on the street. Any of these could be the first piece of a brand new picture. You see, sometimes what keeps us poor is not the lack of money but the lack of belief that we deserve abundance. And this wheel with every turn is erasing that doubt. It whispers to you, you have been chosen for blessing. But remember, the wheel does not turn so you can stand still. It turns so you can move, so you can step in. If you cling to the old, you'll feel shaken, maybe even in pain. But if you dare to let go, you'll be carried by a current that is sweet and unstoppable. Tell me, have you ever wondered why good things rarely trickle in slowly, but often arrive in waves all at once? It's because the universe wants you to understand. Prosperity is not addition, it's explosion. When you are ready, it doesn't give you a single seed, it gives you a forest. When you open your heart, it doesn't send you one drop, it pours down a storm. And you, the warrior of fire, will stand in that storm, washed clean of old ashes, your flame burning brighter than ever. What I want you to remember is this: don't let fear keep you on the sidelines. When the wheel of destiny spins, it waits for no one. You can step on and let it carry you into prosperity, or you can hesitate and be left behind. The choice is not, will it happen, but will you step into it? So let me ask you, and let this question sink deep into your heart. If 1 week from now, just 7 days, your life completely changed, what would you do with that chance? Would you tremble with fear and doubt, or would you open your arms wide and receive it all? If your answer is, I am ready, I invite you to share those words in the comments. Because writing it out is not just a small gesture, it's a declaration to the universe. My heart is open. I am ready for the wheel to carry me. And you will see, even those simple words can be enough to set the energy in motion. Remember, Aries, you don't need to know exactly where the road will lead. You only need to take the first step. Just like when the wheel spins, you may not see the whole journey, but you know you are moving. You are no longer stuck. And right now, that is enough faith in the movement itself. You have lived through enough darkness to know how precious the light is. You have stood still long enough to know how vital the flow is. So when the wheel of fortune calls your name, don't hesitate. Step forward. Let it take you home to where you truly belong. Because from this very moment, prosperity is no longer a distant dream. It is the river flowing right beneath your feet. And this is only the beginning. Because when you place your hand upon the wheel of destiny, another energy also begins to emerge. A sacred power, a blessing beyond measure, coming closer than ever before. Let us continue together and see what awaits when the Empress appears, bringing the power to turn everything you touch into gold. I want you to imagine an early morning when the ground is still soaked with dew. Out in a barren field that seemed lifeless for so long, a small green sprout suddenly breaks through the soil. From a tiny seed, life begins to rise, not loud, not showy, but carrying within it the miraculous power of growth. That is the message the universe is sending you right now. Anything you touch, no matter how fragile, no matter how unfinished, can bloom and bear fruit. And that is not an accident. It comes from the power that is being placed in your hands, the power to turn everything you touch into gold. In many ancient cultures, the image of the Empress did not only represent beauty, but protection, abundance, and blessing. She is the nurturing mother, embracing the child who trembles while searching for the way. And when her hand rests on your shoulder, the ordinary becomes extraordinary, the small becomes great. The power of the Empress is not force or violence, it is gentle, yet enduring, like an underground stream that sustains the entire forest. Maybe you once believed prosperity was only about money, only numbers on a bank account. But the universe wants you to understand something deeper. Prosperity is anything you do that blossoms, expands, and shines. It can be a business that begins in a small room and grows into a lasting legacy. It can be an idea that comes to you in the middle of the night and somehow inspires thousands of people. Or perhaps it can be a relationship once just a simple friendship, but with care and love transforms into a destined love. And you sitting here listening to these words, you are the center of it all. This power doesn't come from outside, and it doesn't depend on circumstances. It flows from within you. Maybe you've doubted your own strength. Maybe you've thought success only belonged to those more fortunate, more clever. But let me say this clearly, in your hands is a power not everyone is given. The power to transform. The power to turn a stone into art, a wound into wisdom, a failure into a stepping stone toward greatness. Have you ever wondered why some people pass through your life and leave only a scratch while others leave behind an entire garden? The difference is not fate, it is energy. And right now, your energy is the energy of the Empress. Wherever you walk, seeds begin to sprout. Whoever walks beside you begins to heal. Whatever work you pour your heart into begins to glow. Think back to a moment in your life when you did something small, a helping hand, a kind word, even just a smile, and later realized it completely changed someone's day, maybe even their life. That is when you truly understand what it means to turn things into gold. It doesn't always appear as instant, dazzling miracles. Sometimes it's a seed you plant in someone else's heart, and one day they come back to thank you because through you they found light again. I know there have been times you doubted, times you looked at your hands and saw them trembling from loss, from failure. But those very hands once trembling now carry the power to create, to build, to heal. And maybe it is because you once knew the weight of loss that you now understand the value of fullness. Because you once knew pain, you can now understand the true depth of joy. That is real power, not avoiding the darkness, but using it to make the light shine brighter. So let me ask you, and only your heart can answer. If right now, everything you touch turned to gold, what would you touch first? Would it be that project you've been holding inside for so long? Would it be a relationship you want to mend? Or would it be yourself, to heal, to be reborn? Let that question stay with you. And if you feel ready, write it down, share your answer in the comments. Because when you speak it, you're not just confirming it to yourself, you're sending a clear signal to the universe. I am ready to turn this into gold. Remember, this power is not only for you to enjoy, it is for you to give. Like a garden in full bloom, its fragrance is not for one flower, but fills the entire air. Every step you take from now on will be like planting seeds. You are not only building your own life, you are sowing light into the lives of others. And soon as you grow accustomed to touching things and watching them blossom, you will realize a truth. Nothing you once called coincidence was ever random. The universe never gives too much to someone unprepared. If you are hearing these words, it means you have long been prepared to carry this power. But power never stands still. It needs light to shine. And this is the moment another energy begins to rise, radiant, unstoppable, sweeping away the shadows, opening a new era of joy and recognition. Come with me and see how the sun itself begins to rise, scattering the night and lighting up the path ahead of you. There are moments in life when it feels as if the sky itself has opened and a radiant light pours down, sweeping away everything that once weighed us down. This is not the faint glow of a lamp in the night. It is the blazing light of the sun, fierce, undeniable, unrelenting. When the sun appears, it does more than drive away the darkness around us. It clears even the deepest shadows hiding inside the heart. Be honest with yourself. How many times have you smiled on the outside, while inside you carried a heavy field of worry and pain? We may be good at hiding, but we cannot hide forever from ourselves. And this light, the light of the sun, comes as a reminder. It's time to stop, to face it, and allow the darkness to dissolve. True light does not arrive when we ignore our pain. It arrives when we find the courage to open our eyes, to stare into the shadows and say, "I accept you, but you no longer rule my life." And in that very moment, the darkness withdraws. You feel lighter, as if you can finally breathe deeper, walk stronger. If tomorrow you woke up and every burden had melted away, what would you do first with your free hands? Would you embrace someone you've kept at a distance? Would you begin the project you once postponed out of fear? Or would you simply smile at your own reflection in the mirror and whisper, "I have been reborn"? Your answer is the seed the sun wants to plant in you today. The success this light brings is not the kind of success made for boasting, for envy. It is like a torch. It not only makes you shine brighter, it lights the path for those walking beside you. When your light bursts open, those around you see their own way more clearly. That is true success. Success not just for yourself, but as a gift to other hearts. I believe deep down, what you long for is not only recognition. You long for meaning. You long for people, when they speak your name, not to think only of money or titles, but of the light you brought into their lives. And the sun comes to do exactly that, to lift your name with respect, to turn your journey into a source of inspiration. When you allow the light in, you'll notice everything begins to change. Relationships grow clearer, plans become sharper, dreams that once seemed out of reach suddenly feel close enough to touch. The sun doesn't just brighten the sky, it brightens the heart. It reminds you, you are worthy of joy, of ease, of a radiant life. If you are ready to let this new light enter your life, I invite you to write the word sunlight in the comments. Think of it as a vow not only to the universe but to yourself, that from this day on, you allow yourself to step out of the shadows and into the light. And remember, when the sun rises, the darkness is no longer a threat. It becomes only the backdrop that makes the light more brilliant. You have endured the long night, and now the dawn has come. You are no longer just a survivor, you are reborn. But the light does not end here. A greater cycle is arriving, one called the world. And there, you will see the entire picture of your destiny, finally coming together as a perfect whole. There are moments in life when everything feels like scattered pieces. Work in one place, love in another, health somewhere else, while the soul drifts like a leaf carried by the stream. We live, we try, and yet deep inside, we feel something missing, as if the picture of our life has never been complete. And then, one day, the universe lays before us the card of fulfillment, the world. The image of the world is unlike any other card. It is not just a promise, it is a declaration. It tells you that an old cycle has truly ended, that a karmic door has closed, and a new door has opened, leading you into an entirely new life. It is not a fragile beginning. It is a complete rebirth where every missing piece of you finally finds its place in the greater picture. Picture this: all the wounds you carried, all the nights you cried, every failure that once brought you to your knees, suddenly arranging themselves into a clear and shining path. Each pain now becomes a stone on the road. And when you look back, you see they've built a strong foundation that carried you here. What once drew blood now stands as proof that you lived, you rose, you fought. And because of that, you are no longer just a person, you are a living story. The world reminds us that fulfillment is not about perfection in every detail. It is about harmony. You don't need to become someone else, you only need to become fully yourself, the most complete, the most honest version of you. Your work, your family, your health, your spirit all flowing together in one rhythm like a great orchestra. Each instrument has its place, and when they come together, the music is whole, beautiful, undeniable. Perhaps you felt like you've been running circles inside a maze with no exit. But the world whispers that maze is over. No more running, no more constant struggle. You found the way out, and what lies beyond is an open sky. This is freedom, not only on the outside, but within. You are no longer chained to old memories, to the voices of doubt, to the judgment of others. You've learned how to listen to yourself, and that is the key to true freedom. I believe there is nothing more sacred than the moment a person realizes they've completed a circle and now stand at the beginning of a new one. It is not starting over. It is returning with wisdom, with strength, with confidence forged through countless trials. And you, listening right now, you are standing at that threshold. You have completed one journey, and now it is time to begin another, the journey of wholeness. So I ask you, if your life today finally felt complete, if every piece finally clicked into place, what would you do with that freedom? Would you keep living as before, or would you choose to become a light for others? Because the world does not come only to give you a reward. It comes to give you a mission to turn your wholeness into inspiration for the world around you. Personal success only has meaning when it opens doors for others. Your joy is only truly full when it touches the heart of someone in pain. And your light shines brightest when it becomes a torch for those still lost in the dark. That is why the world has appeared to remind you, your life is not just your own. You are proof that miracles exist. You are proof that healing is real. You are a living promise that one cycle of suffering can end and a new cycle of joy can begin. And maybe even now you still doubt. Maybe you're thinking, how could I possibly be an inspiration to anyone? But remember, sometimes all it takes is a story you share, a scar you no longer hide, a moment when you stood back up after a fall for someone else out there to believe they can do the same. A mission doesn't always have to be grand. Sometimes it is simply the act of living true, of daring to shine, of daring to live fully. And when you do that without even knowing it, you light the path for many others. The world is telling you you've gone far enough, you've learned enough, and now you are ready to be whole. No more half measures, no more hesitation. No more fear. Only a person standing tall, carrying light, carrying a story, carrying strength to keep moving forward. And this time not only for yourself, but for the souls still searching for a way out. I want you to feel this moment not with your mind, but with your heart. Imagine standing in the center of a circle of light. The pieces of your life slowly turning, then locking into place. And when the picture is complete, you see yourself but a new you, whole, radiant, alive. Hold that image deep within you, so that whenever doubt comes, you will remember, I have completed one cycle and I now begin another with all my strength. If this resonates with you, if you feel it is time to close one circle and begin another, I invite you to share your story in the comments. Tell us about something that once hurt you, but that now, looking back, you are grateful for because it brought you here to this very moment. By sharing, you not only heal yourself, you may become the light for someone else who needs it. And remember, the journey does not end here. When the picture is complete, when the cycle has closed, a new chapter opens, one where destined love, renewed health, and divine protection are waiting for you. There were times when you thought your journey was only about work, about money, about endless responsibilities. But as you step into a new cycle, you begin to see true happiness isn't found only in outer success. It lives in the love you give and receive, in the strength of your body, in the peace of your soul, and in the silent protection of unseen hands watching over you. And that is what is opening for you now: love, health, and divine protection. When we speak of love, many immediately think of romance. But the love the universe is bringing to you is greater than that. It is in the embrace of family, in the tender gaze of a friend, in the unexpected smile of a stranger. And yes, if you are in a relationship, that love will rise to a higher level. Your partner will begin to see you not just as a companion, but as a soul that truly matches their own. There will be moments of silence, yet deeper understanding than 1,000 words. Old cracks will begin to heal, replaced by compassion and support. And if you are still walking this path alone, don't think you've been left behind. On the contrary, destiny is arranging to send someone special your way. Not a passing encounter, but a moment that sets your heart ablaze as if it had been waiting all along. They may arrive in the simplest way, a casual conversation, a chance meeting, a familiar space, but you will know instantly. Your heart will no longer doubt, no longer hesitate. It will say, "This is the one." And when that moment comes, you will understand love never arrives late. It always arrives the moment you are ready. But it's not only love. Your body itself is being reborn. Perhaps you've carried fatigue, small illnesses, or emotional wounds that made you feel heavy. But now, new energy is flowing through every cell. You will begin to feel lighter, sleep deeper, and wake up with vitality you thought you had lost. Health is not just the absence of illness, it is the balance between mind and heart. And soon you will notice, every breath you take carries light. Every heartbeat pulses with life. Even your outward appearance will begin to change. Your skin will glow brighter, your eyes will shine clearer, your smile will flow more naturally. People will look at you and ask, "What are you doing to look so radiant?" But you will know the secret is not in a diet, not in a formula, it is in the peace growing in your heart. When your soul heals, your body becomes the mirror of that radiance. And never forget, through all these transformations, you are never alone. There are souls watching over you, those who walked before you, ancestors, grandparents, parents who have passed. They are not gone, they have become the strength that upholds you at every step. At times you may feel a sudden breeze when no one is near, or hear a gentle call in a dream. That is not imagination, it is presence. And beyond your ancestors, divine protectors also stand with you. Archangel Michael, the one who holds the shining sword, is at your side, cutting through fear, shielding you from energies that seek to stop you. You may never see him, but you have always felt the safety his hand brings. Love, health, and protection. These three are not given for you to keep only for yourself. They are meant to be shared. Your love can heal another's broken heart. Your health can inspire someone weary to find life again. And the protection you receive is a reminder to also be a refuge for someone else. Blessings are never possessions. They are a river. And when you give, they return to you greater, deeper, more beautiful. So I ask you, if right now you are loved, if you are healthy, if you are protected, how will you use these gifts to make the world around you better? Will you keep them only for yourself? Or will you open your arms so that someone out there may also feel a touch of your light? If you truly feel ready to welcome this love, this health, this protection, I invite you to write in the comments, "I am ready to receive." Think of it as a sacred declaration not only to the universe but to your own soul. I have opened my heart, I am ready. And trust that when you speak it, the river of blessings will begin to flow into your life. This journey from the destined shock to the light of the sun, from the wheel of fortune to the wholeness of the world has finally brought you back to yourself. Whole, radiant, protected. This is not an ending, but the beginning of a new life. A life where you know that love is real, health is real, and the protection from unseen realms is real. Thank you for listening with your whole heart. And may light, love, and abundance surround you and your family, today and always.